Hello? 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 Sairam? Okay, in this class we will discuss Bell-Kalman cycle. What we discuss? Bell-Kalman cycle. Now I am sharing this is a diagram of a Bell-Kalman cycle. The Bell-Kalman cycle is very oldest refrigeration cycle which is used for cooling of meat in ships. For cooling of meat, storage of meat in ships, we are using Bell-Kalman cycle olden days. Nowadays, it's obsolete. Here we are using air as a refrigerant. That's why they call them as air refrigerator. Bell-Kalman is an air refrigerator. Bell-Kalman cycle is the reversed cycle of Brayton or a Joule cycle. It is a reversal of a Brayton cycle or a Joule cycle. Already you have studied the Brayton cycle or Joule cycle. That is nothing but gas turbine. That is nothing but gas turbine. Gas turbine consists of compressor, cooler, expander or a turbine. Now that is next heat rejection is another heat exchanger. The reverse Joule cycle or the reverse Brayton cycle is known as Bell-Kalman cycle. Brayton cycle or the Joule cycle is a modification of a Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle consists of two adiabatic processes and two isothermal processes. That is, the impracticality of a Carnot cycle is adiabatic process should be taken place as quickly as possible. Isothermal process should be taken place as slowly as possible to reach the isothermal condition. Therefore, one-fourth of a revolution can be rotated very fast and another one-fourth of rotation will be rotated very slow. It is not possible in practical. Therefore, the isothermal processes are replaced with constant pressure processes. What is the modification of Brayton cycle with Carnot cycle is in Carnot cycle, isothermal processes are replaced with constant pressure cycle, constant pressure process. Therefore, it consists of two adiabatic processes or two isentropic processes and two constant pressure processes. Okay, now Bell-Kalman has developed this cycle. Therefore, we can call it as Bell-Kalman air refrigerator. Therefore, Bell-Kalman refrigerator consists of four components. One is compressor, cooler or a heat exchanger, which is used for cooling the hot air which is compressed. Next, expander. From high pressure to low pressure, we will expand. That is expander. Expander. Now that is another one is a refrigerator or a heat absorber. Another heat exchanger is where heat is absorbed from the product. That is called cooling effect is produced. Therefore, we can call it as a refrigerator. Therefore, it consists of four components. One is compressor, cooler or a heat exchanger, expander, and another one is a refrigerator or a heat exchanger. What happens in the refrigerator? Heat will be absorbed from the products. Thereby, what happens? A cooling effect or refrigeration effect is taken place. That's why we can call it as a refrigerator. What happens in the cooler? Refrigerant is at high pressure and high temperature will reject heat to the cooling media. Cooling media is nothing but cooling water circulation. That is cooling water circulation we are shown here. Here there are two types of cycles. One is called open cycle, another one is called closed cycle. Another name for closed cycle is Dunce cycle. Okay, why Dunce cycle we will know later. First, there are two types of cycle: open cycle, and another one is closed cycle or a Dunce air refrigeration cycle. What is a closed cycle is nothing but the cool air coming from the expander. The cool air coming from the expander is directly circulated in the refrigerator where the products are to be cooled. And then it will be sucked by the compressor from the refrigerator. That means the cool air will absorb heat directly from contact with products which are to be cooled. When it happens, what happens? Cooling effect is better. That is a good advantage. But what is the disadvantage is the air absorbs moisture from the products. Thereby what happens? Whenever the temperature falls below 0 degrees, moisture content will be, so water will be solidified and forms into ice, which will block the pipes. That's a very important problem. Whenever we are using a open cycle, we have to use a dryer in between a cooler and expander. Suppose what is a closed system is nothing but here the products are not directly cooled in the refrigerator. The refrigerant air, cool air coming from the refrigerator expander is cooled the brine solution, and the brine solution is circulated in the products. Therefore, that air will not contact with products. That is called closed system. That is, whenever the refrigeration products are directly contact with the air, it is called open system. They are not contact with air, then we can call it as closed system. Whenever I am using a closed system, refrigerator has to be maintained at atmospheric pressure, and the suction pressure is also atmospheric pressure, because we have to maintain the refrigerator at atmospheric pressure because we have to place a product. Therefore, we have to maintain the low pressure should be refrigerator pressure. Whereas if I am using the indirect cooling, then I can use more than atmospheric pressure can be used. Whenever I am using the more than atmospheric pressure, the compression ratio will be increases, therefore efficiency we are getting. And whenever pressure increases, the density will be increased. Therefore, that's why we can call it as dense air cooling system. Dense air cooling system. Okay, therefore, how many process? That is, first process is compression. It happens in the compressor. What is the process? Reversible adiabatic compression. Reversible adiabatic compression or asentropic compression. Now I am showing the PV diagram. One to asentropic compression. Reversible adiabatic compression anna asentropic compression anna okay, because reversible adiabatic condition is nothing but asentropic compression. The air from the refrigerator is sucked by the compressor at one. One is suction state, that is suction to the compressor. That is, the air from the refrigerator will be sucked by the compressor at one. That is normally at atmospheric pressure and temperature, and it will be compressed. Whenever that is compressed, what happens? Pressure will be increased, and whenever pressure increases, temperature will also increase. Therefore, the air will be compressed from a pressure P1 to P2. That is, the P2 is called discharge pressure. That is, the output of the compressor is called discharge. That is, P1 is called suction pressure and P2 is called discharge pressure. From suction pressure to discharge pressure, we are compressing it reversible adiabatically or keeping entropy remains constant. That is represented by the process 1, 2. During the asentropic compression or adiabatic compression, there should not be any heat transfer between the system and the surroundings. Therefore, Q12 is 0. Q12 is 0. That is represented by the process 1, 2 here, vertical straight line in a TS diagram. Okay, now the air which is leaving the compressor, that is called discharge pressure, keeping the pressure is constant, enters into a cooler. Where in the cooler, keeping the pressure is constant, we are cooling the hot air to a lower temperature, that is 2, 3, constant pressure, heat rejection in the cooler. I am keeping the P2 is equal to P3. Keeping the pressure is constant, I am cooling. The hot air will be rejecting heat to the circulation cooling water. Therefore, cooling water absorbs heat which is rejected by the hot air. Therefore, what happens? The temperature will be decreased from T2 to T3. Therefore, what is that is discharge from the cooler. Therefore, 2, 3 is constant pressure heat rejection in the cooler. Constant pressure heat rejection in the cooler. Now it is constant pressure. Whenever cooling taken place, temperature will be decreased. Therefore, I am drawing the curve downwards, constant pressure line 2, 3. The 2 is discharge pressure and discharge temperature. 3 is the exit condition of the cooler, or I can say that is P2 is equal to P3, or input to the compressor, input to the expander. That is 3 is the input of the expander. Output of the cooler is input of the expander. Therefore, what happens? That is adiabatically expanded from a high pressure to atmospheric pressure. That is discharge up to suction compressor suction pressure. There is P3, that is the P3 is nothing but input to the expander, or that is T3 is input temperature of the expander. What is 3, 4? That is expansion. What is meaning of expansion? The air expands in the expander, thereby what happens? Pressure is decreased from P3 to P4, that is discharge pressure of the expander, which is equal to, that is the refrigerator pressure or a suction pressure of the compressor. Whenever it is expansion taken place, pressure will be decreased from P3 to P4. Pressure decreases, automatically temperature will be decreased. Therefore, the lowest temperature of the cycle is produced after expansion. T4 is the lowest temperature. Therefore, we are getting a cool air which is at a 4 condition. During the adiabatic process, heat transfer is 0. Therefore, Q34 is 0. Q34 is 0. And what is 41? That is the discharge of the expander, which is at a low pressure T4 and temperature T4, enters to the refrigerator where products are to be cooled. And the products are cooled at a constant pressure heat absorption. Where what is 41? Constant pressure heat absorption. Whenever heat is absorbed from the product, what happens? The product's temperature will be decreased. That is nothing but cooling effect. Whenever temperature is decreasing the temperature of a product, that is called cooling taken place, or we can call it as refrigeration. Therefore, quantity of heat absorbed, or we can call it as a refrigeration effect, or heat absorbed from the products, we can call it as 4Q41. Therefore, what happens? That 4 is nothing but the discharge of the expander, that is at a pressure P4 and temperature T4, that is the lowest cool air, lowest temperature of the cycle, enters to the refrigerator. In the refrigerator, it absorbs heat at a constant pressure. It absorbs heat at a constant pressure. Whenever heat absorption taken place, what happens? Products in the refrigerator will be cooled. Whenever heat absorption, what happens? Products will be cooled. That is when heat absorption is called cooling effect or refrigeration effect. Therefore, next, after 4, that is discharge condition, discharge of the evaporator, discharge of the refrigerator is nothing but suction of the, okay, output is nothing but input to the next component. Suppose let us take 1. What is 1? Exit from the refrigerator or input to the compressor. What is 2? Discharge of the compressor or input to the cooler. 3. Output of the cooler or input to the expander. 4. Output of the expander or input to the cool, that is refrigerate. Now, are you understanding the process? 1, 2, asentropic compression. 2, 3, constant pressure heat rejection in the cooler. Whenever heat is rejected, what happens? The air temperature will be decreased. keeping the pressure is constant, that is constant pressure line, 2, 3. 3, 4, isentropic expansion. Isentropic expansion. Whenever expansion taken place, pressure will be decreased and temperature will be decreased. Whenever temperature is, but volume will be increased from V3 to V4. Whenever pressure is decreased, volume will be increased. Whenever volume will be decreased. Therefore, what happens? Pressure is decreased from P3 to P4 and temperature is decreased from T3 to T4 and volume is increased from V3 to V4. What is 4.1? The cool air will be circulated in the refrigerator where heat is absorbed, that is at a constant pressure. P4 is equal to P1. What is suction pressure of the compressor is nothing but exit pressure of the, or the input pressure of the refrigerator. Discharge pressure is equal to input condition of the compressor, that is P2 is equal to P3. Okay, are you understanding these things? Okay, therefore Q12 is 0. Q12 is 0 because it is isentropic process or adiabatic process, heat transfer is 0. And there is another, that is Q12. 1-2 process, the heat transfer is 0. But what happened in the 2-3? Heat rejection. Therefore, heat rejected at a constant pressure in the cooler. That is, we can call it as QR or Q23. That is nothing but heat rejected by the air during constant pressure per kg of air. What is Q23 or QR? That heat rejected by the compressed air at a constant pressure in the cooler. That is nothing but constant, that is the equation for constant pressure process mCp delta T. I am taken m is equal to 1, therefore Cp into T2 minus T3, temperature drop. That QR is temperature drop. Now Q4 is 3-4 is adiabatic process, therefore heat transfer is 0. Next 4.1 is constant pressure heat absorption, or that is heat absorbed or refrigeration effect, or I can say cooling effect, that is equal to constant pressure process. mC4 into T1 minus T4, increase in temperature. Here temperature is increased from 4 to 1. Delta T is whenever temperature is rejected, we can write fall in temperature. Whenever temperature is increased, we can write rise in increase in temperature. Therefore, heat absorbed is nothing but MC, that M is equal to 1, I am taken Cp T1 minus T4. Therefore, first law says algebraic sum of heat transfer must be equal to algebraic sum of work transfer. Therefore, cyclic integral of net work is equal to Q12 plus Q23 plus Q34 plus Q41. But Q12 is 0, 2-3 is 3, 3-4 is 0, only 2-3 and 4-1. Whereas 4.1 heat is absorbed, that is positive heat. Whereas 2-3 rejected is negative and it is positive. Therefore, we can write Q41 minus Q23. But we are not getting work output, we are supplying work. Whenever we are supplying work, our notation is minus W. Therefore, minus W is equal to Q41 minus Q32. Or I can take minus to the right hand side, what you are getting Q32 minus Q41. That is heat rejected minus heat absorbed. Okay. Work supplied is equal to Q23 minus Q41. That is I am writing here. Therefore, the net work done supplied during the cycle per kg of air is equal to heat rejected minus heat absorbed. How you get in this formula? From the first law of thermodynamics. QR minus QA. What is QA? Heat absorbed. QR is Q rejected. Or I can say Q23, Q41. QA is Q41. QR is nothing but Q23. MCP, M I am taken 1 unit mass of data. I am taken specific volumes. Therefore, mass is equal to 1. Cp into T2 minus T3, that is fall in temperature, minus Cp into T1 minus T4. Heat rejected minus heat absorbed. Therefore, what is COP? Heat absorbed divided by work done. What is basic formula for COP? Desired effect by work input by energy supplied. Desired effect is cooling effect or refrigeration effect or heat absorbed. That divided by input energy is we are giving work input. Therefore, heat absorbed by work input. What is heat absorbed? QA. What is work input? QE, QR minus QA. What is QA? Cp T1 minus T4. Work done is equal to QR minus QA. Therefore, I am substituting this one. Q is Cp T2 minus T3 minus Cp T1 minus T4. If I take Cp as a common factor, numerator and denominator gets cancelled. I am getting T1 minus T4 divided by T2 minus T3 minus T1 minus T4. For the simplification purpose, I am taken T4 as a constant. T4 as taken out from the brackets. Whenever I am taken T4 out outside the brackets, we are getting T1 by T4. Therefore, what I am taken is T4 into T1 minus T4 minus 1. Here I am taken T3 is common factor. Therefore, we are getting T3 into T3 minus T2 minus T3. Here I am taken T4 as common factor. Therefore, I am getting T1 minus T4, T4 into T1 minus T4 minus 1. Why I am writing like this will be understanding next step. What is 1-2? Isentropic compression. During the isentropic process, the temperature versus pressure relation is T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. That is the adiabatic pressure versus temperature versus pressure relation. Similarly, another adiabatic process 3-4, that is called expansion process. That is expansion process. For expansion process, what is 3-4? T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4 to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4. But we know that P2 is equal to P3, P4 is equal to P1. If I can substitute P3 is equal to P2 and P4 is equal to P1, I am getting P2 by P1 to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. Therefore, right hand side both same. Therefore, left hand side is also equal. Therefore, T2 by T1 is equal to T2 by T1 is equal to T3 by T4. I am rearranging the term T1 and T3. T3 takes to the left and T1 takes to the numerator. T2 by T3 is equal to T1 by T4. If I am substituting it here, instead of T2 by T3, I am T1 by T4. T1 by T4 as a common factor, we can get cancelled. What you are getting is T4 divided by T3 minus T4. Finally, you are getting T4 divided by T3 minus T4. What we can get, how you remember this formula? During the expansion, that is low temperature, that is T4 divided by T3 minus T4. Low temperature, during expansion, what is the low temperature? Then T4 is the low temperature. Input temperature is high temperature. Therefore, the output temperature divided by input temperature minus output temperature. I am rewriting this as, I am dividing with T4 numerator and denominator. 1 divided by T3 by T4 minus 1. T3 by T4. What is T3 by T4? Rp to the power of P3 by P4 or P2 by P1 to the power of gamma minus 1. What you are getting that equation? P2 by P1 is called pressure ratio, compression ratio or expansion ratio. P2 by P1 is called compression ratio. P3 by P4 is known as expansion ratio. Whenever I am talking about compression, we can call it as final pressure by initial pressure is nothing but compression ratio. Whenever I am calling about expansion ratio, that is decrease in pressure, therefore initial pressure by final pressure. Initial pressure is P3, final pressure is P4. That is compression ratio and expansion ratio are same. Therefore, we are getting Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. That is the equation. This is the this is the ideal cycle. What is meaning of ideal cycle? If the compression and expansion taken place in an isentropic process. But unfortunately, we are getting adiabatic process, but we don't get any isentropic process because of 100% heat insulation is not possible. Some heat will be entering into the system or some heat will be leaving from the system to the surrounding. There will be some heat transfer. Whenever there will be some heat transfer, what happens? That is adiabatic condition will not be, entropy will not be constant. Therefore, it goes to a polytropic process. With heat transfer, it goes to the adiabatic process follows the law PV to the power of gamma is equal to constant, where gamma is Cp by Cv. Whereas polytropic process follows the law PV to the power of N is equal to constant. Suppose if the compression and expansion are not isentropic, then polytropic, then this derivation cannot be used, because if it is a polytropic process, Q23, if it is a polytropic process, Q12 is not 0, Q34 is not 0. Therefore, I don't get that equation. Work input is equal to heat Q23, heat rejected minus heat absorbed. We cannot use that equation. Why I am using this one? Because Q21 and 34 are 0. Therefore, we are getting only 41 and 32 with the proper sign I am adding. We are getting the net work. But unfortunately, if the isentropic compression doesn't take place, there will be heat transfer in Q12 and Q32 is also. Therefore, we cannot use the formula Q rejected minus Q absorbed. We cannot use this formula. Suppose if the expansion and compression follows the law PV to the power of N, then COP can be obtained from the as per derived conditions. How to calculate these things? That is, you don't remember these formulas. We remember the process. Thereby, we can solve the problem by using the derivation method. Suppose if the compression and expansion follows according to the law PV to the power of N is equal to constant, then COP can be obtained from the fundamentals we will be discussed. How you can get algebraic sum of work transfer? Constant pressure process, work transfer is 0. Therefore, for a constant pressure process, the work transfer is 0. Because PDV for a flow process, VDP for a constant pressure process, the work transfer is 0. For a constant pressure process, the work transfer is 0. Therefore, only that is input compressor work and output expander work. Therefore, net input and compressor emo తీసుకుంటుంది, expander emo output ఇస్తుంది. Output is positive, input is negative. Input is more than output. Therefore, we are getting net input. W net is equal to work input to the compressor minus work output from the expander. Now, I want to calculate work input to the compressor and output to the compressor. Work input to the compressor during the compression process per kg of air. For a polytropic process, we are the equation for work transfer is N by N minus 1 into P1 V1 minus P2 V2. Initial minus final. But already I say that this is the work is input negative. Suppose if I write P1 minus P1 V1 minus P2 V2, if I am writing it, I can get a negative. Negative, already I say it is negative. Double negative will get positive. Therefore, whenever I am writing about work input, output, that is exit condition minus input condition. Whenever I am getting power output, we can get initial condition minus final condition, because positive work. That is, remember that important point. Whenever I want to get a work input, therefore you can write that is final condition minus initial condition for the work input formula. That is, whereas if I am getting work output, initial minus final we have to write. Therefore, what is initial? It is compressor is work input. Therefore, WC work input to the compressor is N by N minus 1 into output is P2 V2 minus P1 V1. Output condition is P2 V2, input condition is P1 V1. Therefore, but as per the characteristic gas equation, PV is equal to MRT. Here I taken specific volume, M is equal to 1. Therefore, PV is equal to RT. That is characteristic gas equation or equation of state for an ideal gas. Therefore, what you are right, P2 V2 can be written as RT2 and P1 V1 can be taken as RT1. M is equal to 1, but I am taken M is equal to 1. I don't write M. If you write M also, that is we can get that is it will be cancelled in the numerator and denominator. We can get the same value. Therefore, RT2 minus RT1, that is equation 1, we can call it. Work output from the expander is nothing but n by n minus 1 into input minus output. Input is third condition, output is 4. P3 V3 minus P4 V4. P3 V3 can be written as RT3, P4 V4 can be written as RT4. Therefore, n by n minus 1 RT3 minus RT4. Okay, therefore, net work input is equal to compressor work input minus expander work output. Okay, now I am writing equation 1, subtracting equation 1 from equation 2. N by n minus 1 and R I am taken as a common factor. I am writing one more step. N by n minus 1 and R I am taken as a common factor. Therefore, R T2 minus T1 minus of T3 minus T4. Let us call this equation number 3. Which process heat is absorbed? Which process heat is absorbed? 4-1 process. In the refrigerator, heat is absorbed. Therefore, constant pressure process heat absorbed. QA formula is Cp T1 minus T4. Cv T1 minus T4. That is rise in temperature. Heat absorbed means rise in temperature. Delta T is final minus initial. Therefore, COP can be written as heat absorbed divided by work input. Therefore, heat absorbed is Cp T1 minus T4 divided by work input. Already I am calculating. Equation number 3. N by n minus 1 R into T2 minus T1 minus of T3 minus T4 brackets this equation. Now I want to write R is also in terms of specific heat. R is Cp by Cv. R is equal to Cp by Cv. R is equal to Cp by Cv. Cp can be written as Cp by Cv is called gamma, or Cp is RCV, gamma Cv. Therefore, I am writing Cp is writing a gamma Cv and Cv taken as a common factor, Cv into gamma minus 1. Cp by Cv is gamma, or Cp is equal to gamma Cv. Substitute C instead of Cp, I am substituting Cv gamma. Therefore, I am taken common factor as Cv. Therefore, Cv into gamma minus 1 I am getting. Instead of R, I can write substitute Cv into gamma minus 1. Therefore, I am getting Cp T1 minus T4 divided by n minus 1 Cv into gamma minus 1 into brackets T2 minus T1 minus T3 minus T4. Okay, what is Cp by Cv? Gamma. Therefore, I am next step I am writing gamma T4 minus T1 minus T4 divided by n minus 1 into gamma minus 1 into T2 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T1. Now I take this gamma to the denominator. When numerator taken to denominator, we can write 1 by x can be written, x can be written as 1 by x. Therefore, gamma minus 1 by gamma. Therefore, what you are getting n by n minus 1 into gamma minus 1 by gamma into T2 minus T3 minus of T1 minus T4. That is the final expression. Okay, while solving the problem, we use this equation. Don't remember these equations. How you get it? That is input equation, compressor input equation. You remember that compressor input equation and output expander equation, and you can substitute the values here and you can get calculated the values and the heat supplied calculated, and you can divide this one. Like that, you can solve the problem. Suppose if it is an ideal case. What is if the compression and expansion are adiabatic process? Then what happens? It will follow the law gamma is equal to n is equal to gamma. Compression and expansion follows the law reversible adiabatic or isentropic compression. Gamma must be equal to n. Suppose instead of supplying gamma, I write it as n minus n by n, that goes to cancel. What you are getting T1 minus T4 divided by, this is the first equation of ideal case we are derived. This is the first equation of ideal case we are derived. Joinda. Okay, now that very important is, while solving the problems we are getting, that is the different conditions we are getting. How you are getting? Suppose if compression follows PV to the power of n1 is equal to constant. and expansion follows PV to the power of N2 is equal to constant, then that is the derivation, whatever we are doing, the derivation will not hold good for that condition. If compression and expansion follows the same polytropic process, we are using the second part. Suppose if compression and expansion are different, then we cannot, that is, we can do it as basic principles. We derived the equation like that. The procedure as we derived from the basic principles. Okay, now very important conclusion is we discussed that main drawbacks of the open cycle air refrigerator is freezing of moisture in the air during the expansion stroke. Because during the expansion stroke, temperature decreases. Whenever temperature falls below 0 degrees, what happens? Moisture will be condensed and block the expander or block the tube, which will liable to choke up the walls. Due to this reason, a closed cycle or Bell-Coleman cycle, the dense Bell-Coleman refrigerator is shown in the figure, is preferred. In this case, the cold air doesn't come in the direct contact with the refrigerator. That means in a closed system, the cold air is not directly contact with refrigerator. The cold air is passed through the pipes as used, absorbing heat from the brain. Brain will be circulated in the tubes and the cold air will pass over the tubes. Thereby, cool air absorbs heat from the brain and brain will be cooled, and this brain will be contact with the refrigerator products. That is indirect heating. Whenever I'm using it, then closed system, the discharge pressure or suction pressure will be more than atmospheric pressure can also be possible. Whenever I'm using the more than atmospheric pressure, the gas pressure ratio will be increased. And another thing is when RP increases, the COP increases. Therefore, which is more advantageous. That's why the dense air system we derived from the suction pressure of the compressor is higher than atmospheric pressure in the open cycle. Whereas in the open cycle, what is the suction pressure of the compressor? Atmospheric pressure. Whereas in the closed system, we can maintain above atmospheric pressure. Therefore, we are getting higher pressure. Therefore, that's why we can call it as dense air. High pressure air is called dense air. Therefore, we can call it as dense air refrigeration system. Okay, while we solving the problem, we have to know what is T1, what is T2, what is T3, what is T4. What is T1? What is T1? Suction condition of the compressor or exit condition of the refrigerator. Previous device kemo exit avutundi, mundu unna device kemo input avutundi. You see the block diagram. If you see the block diagram 1, దీనికి 1 కి వెనకాల ఉన్నది ఏంటి? రిఫ్రిజిరేటర్. కాబట్టి దీనికి అవుట్పుట్ అవుతుంది, రిఫ్రిజిరేటర్ అవుట్పుట్ కండిషన్. 1 కి ముందు compressor, therefore input to the compressor. Therefore 1 is output of the refrigerator or input of the compressor. కాబట్టి P1 ని ఇన్పుట్ ప్రెషర్ అనొచ్చు, లేకపోతే అవుట్పుట్ ప్రెషర్ అనొచ్చు. ప్రెషర్ కాన్స్టెంట్, బట్ టెంపరేచర్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు జాగ్రత్తగా చూసుకోవాలి. సక్షన్ టెంపరేచర్ ఆఫ్ ఎయిర్ అన్నాడు అనుకోండి, దట్ ఈస్ T1. Air leaves the refrigerator at a temperature of 10 degrees అన్నాడు అనుకోండి, అంటే it is also T1. Like that wording we have to study. What is 2? Discharge condition of the compressor, that is output of the compressor, that is input to the cooler. Output of the compressor or input to the cooler. What is 3? Output of the cooler, that is air is cooled in a cooler to a temperature of and on, that is T3. What is input to the expander? Output of the cooler is nothing but input of the expander. What is 4? Output of the expander or input of the refrigerator. That is very important. While we solving the problems, we have to remember all these important factors. Okay, now I will solve one simple problem. This is very important for your examination point of view, the derivation. Okay, any doubts regarding the derivation? Any doubts regarding the Bell-Coleman cycle? What is Bell-Kalman cycle? Bell-Kalman cycle అనొచ్చు, లేకపోతే దీనికి what is other names for Bell-Kalman cycle? Reversed Joule cycle or reversed Brayton cycle. Generally, most popular cycle is Brayton cycle, which is used for running the gas turbine engines. Brayton cycle is nothing but a modification of a Carnot cycle, a slight modification of a Carnot cycle. Now, if I am operating in a reverse direction, reverse Brayton cycle or a reverse Joule cycle, it is Bell-Kalman cycle. That is, Bell-Kalman has developed the cycle by reversing the Carnot by Brayton cycle. That's why we can call it as Bell-Kalman cycle. Bell-Kalman cycle anali, లేకపోతే reversed Brayton cycle or reversed Joule cycle అనాలి. అంతేగాని reversed Bell-Kalman cycle అనకూడదు. Reversed Bell-Kalman cycle అంటే ఏమవుతుంది? Brayton cycle అయిపోతుంది. Whenever I call it as reversed Bell-Kalman cycle is nothing. If I am operating in a refrigerated cycle in a reverse direction, I am getting a heat engine. If I am reversing the heat engine, it will work as a refrigerator. If I am reversing the refrigerator, it will work as a heat engine. That is very important point you have to remember. Engine ni ganaka mana engine yokka cycle ni reverse direction lo operate chesinatayite, it will act as a refrigerator. Refrigerator ni malla reverse chesam anukondi, malla vice versa reverse chesam emavutundi, heat engine avutundi. Okay, that is very important. Is what is open system, what is closed system? Open system lo the cool air is directly contact with refrigerated space. The cool air is directly contact with refrigerated space. That is called open system. What is closed system? That is the cold air is not contact with the refrigerated space. It will be circulated over a secondary refrigerant, that is a brine tubes, where brine will be absorbing heat. Brine will absorbing heat from the refrigerant. Thereby what happens, brine will be cooled and that brine solution will be contact with the products which are to be circulated in the food, which are to be cooled. That is indirect cooling I am using. That is closed system. If I am using an open system, then suction condition or the leaving condition of the operator must be an atmospheric pressure condition. Whenever I am using a dense air refrigeration system, that one may be a higher than atmospheric pressure condition. Okay, now that is what is formula for COP? COP depends upon 1 by Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by, that is coefficient of performance of Bell-Kalman cycle is a function of compression ratio or expansion ratio. That is Rp పెరిగిందనుకోండి, denominator లో Rp పెరిగితే ఏమవుతుంది, compression ratio పెరిగితే Rp value increase అవుతుంది. Whenever Rp value increases, what happens, denominator increases, what happens, value will be decreased. Denominator పెరిగిందనుకోండి, fraction will be decreased, COP తగ్గిపోతుంది. Compression ratio తక్కువ ఉంటే that is next ఏమవుతుంది, denominator will be decreased, therefore we are getting more. Therefore Rp pressure ratio, expansion pressure ratio తగ్గిన కొందికి, pressure ratio తగ్గిన కొందికి we are getting more efficient, COP will be increased. Okay, any doubts regarding this one? Okay. ఏంటి వాళ్ళు చెప్పిన దాంట్లో ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? If you got any doubts, you raise your hands. Okay, can I close the session? Can I close the session? Thank you, I am closing the session.